Alright, how's everybody doing today? Back again with another video for you guys. And today we're going to do my full review of the Google Nexus 4 made by LG. First, I got a few other things I want to cover before I get into the phone itself and the case. But real quick, let's cover the wireless charger here. Slide this off camera a little bit. Now, I have kind of portable setup here. This is the Yotech Qi wireless charger for any Qi enabled device pretty much. And real quick, I just wanted to talk about this. So this is a real solid device. When it's plugged up, you can plug it up using any USB, as long as it has a micro end there to a full end here. And when it's ready to go, you'll see this green light. Now, let's say you have something that you want to charge. You just drop it on. Here's our Nexus 4 right here. Let me cut that off real quick. Here's our Nexus 4. You try to find where you know the NFC or wireless charging thing is, and you drop it on. And it'll give you that little sound that you know it's charging, and the light turns blue, as you can see right there. And it's charging. And I must say, first, I thought it was going to be bigger, but for the size that it is, it's very portable, and it works like a charm. Now, I also have a case that I'm going to review real quick. And I must say, let's bring the case in. This is the Ringke Fusion for the Nexus 4. And I would say, even with the case, it still works. So, and sometimes it's hard to find. Let me put the case back on real fast. Sometimes it's really hard to find. Sometimes you get a case and it takes away some of the functionality. But even with the case on, it still charges. And you can still see that blue light there. It's kind of hard to see, but you heard the sound. So it's a really solid Qi wireless charger, and it works on pretty much any Qi enabled device. And now, when we talk about charge times, it's pretty much the same speed as charging your device wired. Now, this is not like the Samsung one. It's not fast enabled, so it's pretty much the same speed. So from about 0 to full, it's going to take you roughly about 4 to 6 hours. From about 15 to full, going to take you just over 3 hours. So it's a really solid Qi wireless charger. I'm sorry, my voice is a little stressed. So that's the wireless charger. Now, you just put this wireless charger off to the side real quick, and let's go back to talking about this case. Now, this is the Ringke Fusion case for the Nexus 4, and I must say this case is pretty much perfect, because I still get the look of my phone. I still get to see my phone design, and I get pretty much perfect protection. And then also, I have a tempered glass screen protector on the front here. Then this is made by a company named Atom. I'll have all the links in the video description for you guys. So with the tempered glass screen protector and this full case, I have full protection here. Now, you can see that with this rubber here, you actually have the perfect grip points, because it's all rubber around the sides, and then you got your glass. It's like a ceramic glass, or the word's escaping me right now, but you have your hard shell, and it's see-through, so you can see your design. And a pretty cool thing about this Ringke Fusion case here is they provide guidelines. So if you want to make your own designs and pretty much make a case for your phone and put it in here and have your own little cool design, that comes with the actual case. So let's say I wanted to have like a camo. I found something with a nice little camo design. I just followed the cutouts that came with the case, and I could drop it in here and I have a nice little camo design or any design that I want. So that's pretty cool, Ringke, and nice job including that. Now, moving on, we pop this out. Do this off camera real fast and pop this out the case. Now that we've talked about the tempered glass screen protector, the wireless charger, and the case, let's put this case off to the side real quick. Now, let's get to the main star of the show. Let's get to the device. So, first off, let's talk about build quality. Now, the build quality on this guy is pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, this is actually my second unit because the speaker on my first unit, as you guys see from the update on the bottom of the unboxing, the speaker on the first unit just died. Like two hours in, I just barely finished setting up my phone, and the speaker just died. So I had to send that one back, get a refund, and buy this guy. So there was a little bit of downtime in my review process here, and I'm sorry about that. It's about 3 or 4 days downtime. Also, I want to throw kudos out to Amazon and the seller that I purchased this first device from, because it came earlier than expected, and the seller was actually pretty cool. Stayed in contact, everything went smoothly, and when he got the original device back, issued the refund, and the refund came within about 2 to 3 days, and I was able to get the other device out, and I paid for the express shipping to get this device here as fast as possible. So good job Amazon, and good job the seller on Amazon. I can't remember the actual seller's name, but I think it was based out of Texas, and good job both of y'all. Now, the actual build quality on this device is pretty much perfect. There are some downsides, but it is what it is. Now, this is all glass back here, and all glass front, and you have like a painted plastic sides. So yeah, painted plastic sides there. So, but all in all, the feel in the hand is great, and it's a very one-handed device. I can pretty much reach the whole screen with one hand, and for the size of the device, that's pretty much perfect. So this is like the perfect one-handed device here. So all in all, I would say that build quality is pretty good. Now, there is one little gripe I have with it. It being all glass, this bad boy will slide. Like, I don't even have to try hard. It's gonna slide. Which is why I went ahead and picked up the tempered glass screen protector in the case. Because the last thing I want to do, because y'all know I have a love for technology, last thing I want to do is scratch up any part of this guy or have it fall and break. I will be a sad individual if that happens. So, slap this case back on here real quick. Now it's fully protected. Now, moving on, let's talk about the display in this guy. Now, what we have here, up front, dead center, is a 4.7-inch IPS display, and I think it's a 720p display. Now, it is a pretty good display, guys. Let's check the numbers here real quick. So, display-wise, as you can see, let that focus up. It's 4.7 inches, and it has a screen density of 317. And the display is gorgeous, you guys. Now, y'all might say 317 is a little low, but for the size of the phone, and it's pretty much perfect. Didn't have any issues with the display, and it gets really bright outdoors. Matter of fact, let me see if I can crank up the brightness for you guys real fast. So it gets really bright. No issues outdoors with this display at all. So let me go ahead and turn that back down because it is bright and I don't want to kill the battery too fast. And so let me go back here and we're just going to put that back down. There we go. Oops. Didn't mean to click that. So, actually I think I put it down too far. So we're going to go ahead and turn it back up some. Right about there. So the display on this guy is pretty much spot on. Now, moving on, let's talk about the hardware and software in this guy. Now, hardware wise, we're looking at 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of built-in storage. The storage is not expandable. And other hardware features, we got a Snapdragon S4 Pro clocked at 1.5 gigahertz. I believe that's the same processor that's in the S4. So then let me just show you guys real quick. Out of the box, when I first fired this guy up, now it says you have 16 gigs of built-in storage. Let that focus real fast. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. That focus up. Now, out of the box, it says you have 16 gigs of built-in storage here. And as you can see, I took this screenshot. Android takes up about 3 or 4 gigs, and you're left with like 12 gigs. And that's all available to the user there. So I had 12 gigs out of the box there. Well, just about 12. And now, just to show you real fast, let's jump in so you can see. After setting up everything, getting everything just the way I like it, I still have 10 gigs of free space. And I'm only using about 2.6 gigs. And I have a lot of things on here. I have everything synced up. And you know, I have my data running in the background. Everything is running. And I only use up about 2.6 gigs. So, space is not an issue. And that was like one of my biggest things when it came to using this Nexus 4. Because I was like, I've had an SD card. And I'm like, can I get away with not having one? But I would probably say yes, because if you use streaming services or cloud-based storage services, you don't really need an SD card. Do I miss that feature? Yes. But is it a deal breaker not to have it? No. So, yeah. Other hardware features, we have an 8 megapixel camera on the back with LED flash. And the flash is pretty good. Let me just show you guys real fast. The flash is pretty good. It gets pretty bright. I actually just blinded myself a little bit. Then, up front here, we got a 1.3 megapixel camera. And down there we have an LED notification light. And it's a multicolored LED. So you get all the colors. So that's pretty cool. Other things. Now, in terms of software, we are running Android 4.4.4, but you can update this to 5.0, Android 5.1.1. Now, I was a little skeptical about doing that because I've read through some of the forums. When my first phone broke, I was like, you know, let me just read up and see what I'm getting myself into. And I read through some of the problem forums, and a lot of people when they took that update to 5.5.0 or 5.1.1, it kind of messed up their phone. You know, they were having some issues. Pretty much everybody was having some audio issues where the speaker goes out. And that's exactly the issue that I ran into where my speaker died. So I'm not gonna be updating this guy. And then there's a way to turn it off, and that's what I did. Now there's other ways to do it where you have to be rooted, but I found a nice little way here to turn off that update so it stops asking you. So as you can see right here, running KitKat 4.4.4. A little Easter egg here. And now, pretty much, this is Android the way Google intended it. So it's all stock features here. All stock. So now, let me run into the settings and show you guys some stuff. It's not really much. It's all stock. When you feature-wise, you have Android Pay, which is where's it at? It's in there somewhere. Not sure where it is, but you have Android Pay, you have NFC, you have Bluetooth 4.0, you have Cloud Print, and that's pretty much it. There's no users feature on this guy, even though I think if you take the update, they might have enabled that, but I'm not taking the update. So that covers the software and the hardware in this guy. So now let's talk about any glitches, stutters, or crashes. Now, I've used this guy for almost 2 weeks, and I've had no issues software-wise whatsoever. Now, under heavy load, however, the phone did tend to get quite hot. And, I mean, that's understandable. It's an all-glass phone. Under heavy load, I was expecting it to do that, and it did not disappoint. Don't have too many apps open right now, but under heavy load, it will get quite hot. Now, moving on, that's pretty much the only issue here. So, moving on, let's talk about the Wi-Fi in this guy. Now, this says 802.11 BGN and dual band Wi-Fi. So it does support the 5 gigahertz band, and it works good. There's a little issue with the Wi-Fi, just like there's a little issue with the GPS. Now, the Wi-Fi tends to be a little weak. I'm not sure what the issue is, but it tends to be a little weak, even in perfect strength areas. Like you can see, the Wi-Fi bars were perfect, and the strength on my router said excellent, and I was still kind of getting not so good speeds. So I'm thinking that the Wi-Fi module in this guy, although it's okay, it's not good. It gets the job done though. It gets the job done. And data-wise, I might as well just go ahead and show you. You're running HSPA, no 4G, no LTE, just 3G and HSPA. So you don't have LTE in this guy. But is that an issue? No, because the service, when it comes to calls and such and getting data, didn't have any issues with that. So that's not really an issue. And I said that before, don't really have any issues with that. So yeah. Now, let's go ahead and load up a YouTube video for you guys so you can see. Now, this does stream YouTube videos in 720p, So that's pretty nice. Let me go to one of my videos real fast, and we'll play a few seconds. And the speaker, as you're about to hear, the speaker is good, but it's kind of on lower volumes. You can't really hear it too good. You gotta really crank it to the max to hear it good, but it's not crackly and it's not poppy. It's actually clear and it gets quite loud. Like, I've had a lot of my friends say that this speaker is quite loud, even though it is a rear firing speaker. It gets quite loud and it's actually quite clear. So let's go ahead and load something up, and I'll play a few seconds for you guys. Alright guys, back again with another video for you guys. And today, I'm very excited to unbox this for you guys. So, today we have an unboxing of the ReadyCam smartphone adapter and adapter to go on a camera mount and the conversion kit. Now, I've been looking for something like this for a long time because it's a lot easier to shoot really good videos from a really good phone. Let's scrub forward some. You guys might say loads up fairly quickly. Having a decent actual camera is a lot better, but this is just way more portable. Alright, so the Wi-Fi in this guy is good. Now there have been some issues where it kind of disconnects and I gotta like refresh it, but other than that, it runs pretty good. Now, I've only brought that up because it happened a little bit more times than I would like, so I had to mention it. Now, moving on, let's talk about the bands that are in this guy here. Now, as I've said, this is a 3G and HSPA device, so you don't really get any LTE bands. You do, however, get the, I think it's the global bands, so you get the global 3G and HSPA. Let me just log onto my computer real quick because I had it pulled up. So those numbers are, for GSM it's 850, 900, 1800, 1900. For HSPA, it's 850, 900, 1700, 1900, and 2100. Now, other than that, no other bands in this guy. Now, I've seen a lot of videos where they say if you're rooted, you can go ahead and flash over a hybrid modem, and you can enable 4G. So it is what it is. I mean, this is a Nexus device, so if you have the will, there's a way. You can pretty much do whatever you want to this guy. Because, Google, when they made Android, they made it to be kind of, you can go a little crazy. It's up to you. You do it however you want. And so there's a ton of ROMs for this guy. It's easy to root. Everything to do on here when it comes to that, it's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. It is what it is. Now, I tend to enjoy stock Android. I like running it exactly how Google intended it to be. So I'm not going to be rooting this guy. I'm not going to be flashing a whole bunch of ROMs. I'm not really going to be doing any of that. Just leave it like this. This is pretty much going to be my work phone. It's going to be my daily driver. Although I will be reviewing other stuff, I'm pretty much going to come back to this. Always. Because I'm really interested to see if I can really get away with not having expandable storage, and two, if this really can last me 2 years. So this will always be my fallback guy now, when I'm not reviewing devices, this will be my main daily driver that I fall back to. Now, moving on, let's talk about the Bluetooth in this guy. Now, this guy has Bluetooth 4.0, and I must say, it works pretty much perfectly. I've synced it up to multiple headphones. I've synced it up to multiple devices. I have a few devices now, and Bluetooth pretty much works, no issues. So there was no issues with the Bluetooth. Now, moving on, let's talk about the call quality in this guy. I already covered the speakers, but let's talk about the call quality. Now, call quality wise, it was actually pretty good. It was pretty good. LG did good with this one. You know, the calls were loud and they were clear. I didn't have any issues hearing anybody on the other side of the line. But I did, however, get a few people said that my voice sounded a little echoey. And that was kind of weird because they sound perfect to me, but they was like I sound a little echoey, and that some of that was not on speakerphone and some of it was. So I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure whether that was my phone or their phone, but I did have about 3 different people tell me when I wasn't on speakerphone that I sound a little echoey. But it is what it is. I'm not sure who that was, but I just had to say it because it happened more than I would like. You know, one or 2 times you can let it go, but if it happens more than 3 times, you kind of really got to talk about it. So just had to bring that up. Now, speakerphone wise, speakerphone was great. Didn't have any issues with speakerphone. Now, do I wish that the speaker was on the front? Yes, it would have been a lot easier, but it's not a big deal. Now, moving on, let's talk about the cameras in this guy. Now, let's talk about the interface first. But matter of fact, let me just tell you. So up front, we have a 1.2 megapixel camera, which records in 720p at I think it's 30 frames per second, not sure. And then in the rear, you have an 8 megapixel camera that records in 1080p. And the camera is pretty good. It's just a matter of getting the right lighting, you know, and pretty much you can pretty much get a good shot. Video calls were good. Now, would I have liked the front-facing camera to be a little better? Yes, but they work for what I needed to work for. Didn't have any issues. Now, I did, however, have a problem with this interface. Now, Google's camera interface is cool. It's pretty straightforward. It's very simple. But this is where the size of the display kind of creates an issue for me. You see, you gotta pinch the zoom. Well, when I was outside trying to get some video and some nice close-up shots, I really struggled with that because I had to do it one-handed. And even if it was on my tripod, this is kind of a small display, so it's really hard to pinch the zoom. It would have been nice if they did how Samsung did it, and you can change the zoom to be the volume up and down buttons. But right now, the volume up and down buttons pretty much only take a picture. So, you know, it is what it is. They only pretty much take a picture there. But, like I said, it's not really a big deal. It's just an issue that I had. Other than that, this interface is pretty cool. It's pretty straightforward. It's really easy to use, and there's no issues. Now, really quick, just let me show y'all the resolutions and things real fast. Let that focus up some. Yeah. So there you go. Right now I have I have the back camera at 6 megapixels because I was shooting a case review earlier and I wanted that widescreen format, but it's still in 1080p. And then the front, as I said, is pretty much only 4x3, but it's 1.2 megapixels. And you get 1080p in the back and 720p in the front. So that's pretty cool. Now, let's get into some sample shots here. Back out of that, and back out of this. And then, oh, yeah. Did I talk about the GPS yet? No, I think I did. But this was, real quick, let me cover that. This was the signal strength I was getting from the GPS. Now, it did take a few seconds to lock on. But then it locked on, but as you can see, the strength was not too good. Now it works, and the GPS, I felt it was kind of slow, but it works, and it was there when I needed it, but I'm not sure if I covered that. If I look at my notes here, I think I skipped over the GPS, but so I covered that real quick. Now, let's get into some camera shots here. And, oh. Whoa. I think I did not. I did too. Whoops. I think I erased them by accident. I accidentally, erased my, review of the case from this phone today. And it looks like I erased it more than I wanted to. But I think you guys could take my word for it. The camera itself is pretty good. I'm sorry about that, guys. I made a mistake. I deleted a lot more than I wanted to. And somehow, because I deleted that video that I uploaded from this phone, I accidentally got a strike on my YouTube account. Not sure how I did that, but it happened. But you can take my word for it, guys. The cameras on this guy is pretty good, and I actually was able to get some pretty decent shots with this. So I'm actually very pleased. Now, moving on, let's talk about, now, real quick, because this will be the portion where I talk about the gaming and the benchmarks. Now, I decided not to do gaming and benchmarks on this device because it's a Nexus 4. And pretty much everybody has done that. Benchmarks have been run on this. Pretty much everybody who's out there on YouTube has ran a benchmark on this. So I decided, let's not do that. And the same thing for games. I decided there's a lot of game reviews out there for this guy, so I decided let's not do that one either. But pretty much